Okay.
Hey, Soul Survivors. I am here with Amanda, and we are going to talk about online dating, also other things about narcissism. And we were talking before we started this. Amanda, we we know that narcissists like to hoard, and you were telling me a story during the pandemic. You ran into two of your exes, and how did you stay safe during the pandemic?
Well, I was working at Great Clips, and well, actually, the pandemic was before I was working at Great Clips, but yeah, I was just like, newly divorced, newly divorced, but the relationship had been very rocky for like years, so it wasn't something new that was coming on. And so I went to the dating apps just because I was just for fun, just to have fun. I was like, yeah, let's get back out there, why not? So yeah, like I swear. I mean, there's probably several people that I talked to, but the few that I met that I actually met in person were definitely I could tell. Yeah, the first one well, so I have to go. Yeah, the first one I met was actually in my neighborhood, and I actually did go to his house, but I was like so freaking nervous that I was very shy, and I pretty much skipped out like after like an hour because I was just really nervous. But probably I'd say probably like 3 months later on, maybe 4 months or something. Okay, so one time like I just felt really weird. I don't know. There was something about it that I just didn't feel right or something. I don't know, just whatever.
Our bodies will tell us, yeah.
Yeah. So, but so actually seen him walking down the street. I was actually, well, I think he was biking, and I was in my car, and I seen him going down the street. It's probably a couple months later, maybe even a few months later. I think it was a while later. But anyways, so he looked over at me and he started waving like that. But then I just like, oh shit, and I knew that like I kind of just like left, and then I didn't talk to him again after that, just because it was just on my own, like newly out from being in a 15-year marriage, 20 years together. It was like new for me. So I just kind of like shied out, I don't know. I'm weird like that. Um, but so I saw him going down the street, like he was like, I believe he was on his bike. And then he's like he's like, and I just kind of look, and then I just kind of like looked forward out the window of the windshield. Like I didn't see him.
Right.
That's what I did. But I had to stop at a stop sign right there. Yeah, I was coming up to a stop sign. So like he was still passing me. But I was just like, oh my God, I'm just not even gonna look. Just not even gonna look.
Right. Well, I thought it
So
was so funny you said that they came into your work. Great Clips is a hair salon, and you had your mask on, so you're not exactly sure if they knew it was you. And you had to cut one of their hair.
yeah, a couple of them, yeah. Um, but when I was because there's still something good that comes from this other one. So I just want to finish that one first, but then we'll go into that one because for me, like I'll completely forget about it. But so I was like, so like maybe a few weeks later, I was thinking, well, maybe, because I was initially attracted to this guy. I was like, well, maybe, I was just being, it's just me and I was being very standoffish. So I go to so I actually contact him again. Like I think it was on I don't know, like Snap or something. So I contacted him again, and or maybe it was on the dating app. And so we were gonna meet up. We were gonna meet up, and this was still like kind of when the pandemic was actually kind of ending. And he made plans with me to meet up with me, and then he didn't. And then, oh, so I made a comment about like at work and how being around people, like, a lot of the clients coming in that have the COVID and stuff, how scary that is that we're working around all those people, and then like we could totally like we're so up close that there's a big chance that we're gonna get it,
Right.
and then so he messaged me later like after we were supposed to already meet like that night and hang out or whatever, and he's like, you know what, I think I'm good, he's like, I don't want to get sick, and he's like, and I didn't really feel it with you, I didn't feel the vibe with you, and I was with you last time, the first time anyway, so I think I'm good, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I was like, okay, and I didn't say anything else, and I never responded to him. And then like probably like a few weeks later, he messaged me and was like, hey, do you still want to hang out?
Isn't
But
that
like that right
interesting?
there,
It's like I don't want you, I
yeah,
do want you.
Yeah,
'Cause I
so
was gonna
that
say,
right
at
there,
least he's
yeah,
honest, but it's almost like he doesn't know what he wants, and
right. Or honestly, I took it as he was just another one of those narcissists because I've seen that pattern. I've seen that pattern in my relationship, in my 20-year relationship, with my
kinda,
ex.
"You hurt me, I'll hurt you back."
Right. But then like when you want them, then they don't want you. They're gonna push you. They play hard to get. So so
Yeah,
so so at first they'll bomb you and be like, oh, because that's what he did. Like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so great, looking right into my eyes. Like he just thought I was so special, right? And then since I dissed him and I was hoping that he just thought that I just didn't see him, but
right.
apparently he's probably intuitive and he's been like, yeah, right. She saw me, so then he dissed me when I tried to reach out to him, because I was thinking, oh, well, maybe it was me. I was even blaming it on myself. Like you were just,
Well, that
scared
probably
because
hurt his feelings if he
right,
finally saw him,
right.
we
Yeah.
get to see that too.
Yeah.
But with the online dating, what I know we talk about a lot of times there are narcissists on the online dating apps. Can you explain like some
But
of the
that's where I
pictures
met
that
him
you
from.
saw?
And then
Pardon?
that's where I met him from though, was the dating apps
Yeah.
too.
So
Yeah.
some of the pictures that you see, are they more show off kind of pictures as opposed to just a smile? Are they like muscle bound pictures or
Some of them, yeah. Yes, I've seen a lot of different kind of pictures on the dating apps, Um, but yes, they portray them themselves on there, of course, and then make their bio sound all great, and then all the pictures they have loaded on there of them, like smiling, and I mean, not all of them, because actually, once I learned what narcissism was and stuff, when you go back and you look at their pictures, then you'll see it in their face. You can literally see this in their face
what is
and
it
their
that you see when you
expression.
look
Just you can see that, just like that, like that, like
like a
that cold
cockiness?
look, like see, like, so just like
Is that, I know it's like I can't do it either. Oh, okay.
just like
Kind of I'm the
and then
shit.
they won't actually really be smiling. That's why I was thinking why I had to change that, because no, they won't really actually be smiling. Like they might be, but you could see it in their eyes, like literally.
Oh, that's one thing. I'm glad you brought that up because the eyes and the facial expressions a
Yeah.
lot of times don't match up. Like you'll get a smile with angry eyes and it's real
Yeah, but
confusing.
at first, when you're trained to see it as normal, you don't think anything of it. Like I never did. Like even with, when I look back at, like childhood pictures and stuff, I never saw it. But now I can't unsee it because, I've studied it so much and I've learned it through experience and
There's
research
supposed
and
to be
whatnot. But
something about their eyebrows too.
yeah, you could see it in their face, like literally. And so when you go on there now, it's like, okay, what is it? Slide to the wait. If you don't want them, is it slide to the left?
Oh, can I tell
It's
you,
like
I was in China. I was in China and the one guy was talking about Tinder or something like that. And he's like, yeah, what
it's tender.
girls do is they're like, nope, 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 nope,
Yep,
nope,
yep.
nope, nope. But
But
he's
that's what I
like,
look for
well,
in
listen,
them.
guys, he's like, yep, yep, nope, yep, 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 yep. So he was showing us trying to be funny, and we were in China. He had all these Chinese ladies like contacting him and trying to meet up with him because he liked them all. He was just,
Yeah,
oh, it's which way you go.
yeah. That's just got the yeah. That's a typical. I don't want to like offend anybody, but that's a typical male for you.
Like
But
shoulder.
yeah, no. But once you learn it, once you see, you can't unsee it. So it's like, okay, nope, 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 nope. Because like I didn't see it at first. And then when I met these people, I met like three of them, which was the guy, I think his name was David. I think it was like David Bowman or something, honestly. And it's weird that that popped into my head,
That
but
if that's that's somebody from Facebook. That's somebody we both
oh,
know.
maybe that's why.
Oh,
Maybe it wasn't that last name.
who is
Okay,
he?
so
That name sounds familiar to me
yeah.
too.
Maybe not. Maybe it's because I've seen that name on Facebook then, if someone we know. Because he definitely isn't anyone that I had ever met before. But
Okay.
yeah, he's like a banker. He works like at the bank, and he's like in the neighborhood. He's like literally like 3 or 4 streets down from me. But I've never seen him again.
Oh.
Oh, it's like a
So
loan officer or something. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the red flags that you saw? You say the facial expressions or
Yeah, and then yeah, but it's definitely like because then after meeting a couple other ones that were like, okay, like at first I liked them, and of course I didn't pick up on their, on their like demeanor, but like another one that I met, like I'm I met it was actually during the pandemic. I was just like I'm like, I'm just gonna go out and meet people, whatever, and it was after the pandemic was, like I don't want to, yeah. It was after we were stuck in it for quite a few months. So I was like, whatever. Because I know the first guy wasn't during the pandemic. There's only one guy. Well, there's two guys during the pandemic that I met from the dating apps. And there's a couple of the dating apps. Like one is Tinder, and then there's another one. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it. It's been a while because I'm not.
the different apps? Were there certain apps that were more sexually oriented or sleazy or
I
pushy?
think that, yeah, I think Tinder's probably the most sleaziest one. Like, like I've had people say, I'm surprised you haven't gotten, any dick pics yet. But luckily I never did get any. But they do send those. But I did get some bare chests and stuff. But the funny thing is I was just being silly, and I was just like, all right, you show me yours and then I'll show you mine. You know. So just to see if they would do it.
That's a lot of times the people that go on there, they just like the playtime.
Yeah.
And so for people looking for a serious relationship, a lot of times they
Right.
don't get it because people are
Right.
just they're like, I'll just have fun and or
Yeah.
see what I can get or the
Mhm.
teasing, you
And
know.
a lot of them are already with somebody anyways. They're just, just doing it side. But then you got your other ones that they're on there for a reason, like, because, they don't do well in relationships because of, they're like, need to be in power, control, um, demeanor, whatever in the relationship,
It feels a
because
little bit safer to where you don't have to worry about what you smell like, or you don't have to worry, do I have the perfect clothes on? Because you can decide where you want to take your picture.
but yeah, and a lot of them don't though. You can see pictures on there and they don't look like they did in the pictures.
Are
Yeah,
they
like
are
they'll
they
look
a lot
similar,
different?
but it's like yeah, something's different in person for sure. For sure.
What is it that they're not as like clean cut looking, or how are they different?
I guess, yeah, I guess so. Like, I don't know. Like, um, I don't know how to explain it, to be
Okay.
honest. Just like, it looks like them, but it just they look more, I
Real.
don't know, doctored up. Yeah, they look more
Oh no, a real person. Get them away from.
right. Right. But
Uh,
yeah.
and then
So
what kind
like
of things would they ever talk like deep emotional kind of real conversations, or was it just a hey, what's your favorite color? What'd you do at work? You want to meet up, or did they really like talk to you? Were they concerned, or
um I mean, I'm
and did
trying
they
to I'm
did they Zoom with you too? Did you have a hard time?
no. I don't think so. I mean, there was like I don't even know if Zoom was in effect at that time. I don't know. Like I
It
don't know if I
was
Zoom.
online teaching was over Zoom for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So, well, I just mean like I know video calls. Like I did do a couple video calls, yes. But it was so awkward though, because it's easier to text,
Yeah.
message instead of especially if you don't know someone and you're just getting back out into the dating world. But no, but like I had a couple of the guys. So it was only like three people that I actually met in person. And then there was, some other ones that I talked to online that I never actually, met or whatever.
So what
But
was it that made you decide to meet those three guys as opposed to the other guys? Were they closer in proximity, better looking? Did you get a certain vibe from them? What pushed the other people away from you? How did you make your decision who to meet?
well, I think that maybe because maybe attracted, and they were up for it, and I was just, I don't know, at the time, I don't know, I was just, like I said, I was, newly out of my relationship, but it was been gone for a while, but newly divorced, so I was like kind of celebrating. I'm like, yeah, let's go have fun. So I don't know. Yeah, I would say that well, I didn't have good. I mean, hindsight, I didn't have that great account. I didn't have that great of a um connection with them, even when I was with them. yeah, like, okay,
What
so,
kind of dates? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, the first guy that was during the pandemic that I met up with, he had like this nice house on, it was like a $400 or $500 house on the lake, Austin Lake, I think it was.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, you're not gonna be a pussy. You looked cute, online or whatever. And then he was up for it, like, yeah, you can come to my house, whatever. And so, and I was just being, I was just being brave, to be honest. But no, yeah, we actually had a good time. And the thing is that I actually did think that I liked him, but he turned out to actually be like one of those. Okay, so like the whole time, like, okay, so it was like warm out, and we walked down to Austin Lake. I think it was Austin Lake. It's somewhere, I don't know, here. I'd have to, it's been a long time, but so we actually even got, and we actually went swimming, and we swam out to the boondocks and everything. Like, it was like
Okay.
dark out late at night, but he was like, everything was like hush, 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 because his neighbors, because he was in a community, he was worried about the neighbors, like they were all like kind of older. Like I said, it was like a four or $500,000 house. So and the only reason we found that out is because me and my friend looked up the address. Yeah, because we were checking all avenues before I went out, before I went to his house. So,
And sometimes you do have to, like, is that really the person that lives at that house, or do they have
right,
a criminal
yeah.
record? Are they on the registry?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's not
you
necessarily that you're,
you gotta do your research. Don't just meet up with nobody. Just do your read, but do your research. Um, yeah.
yeah,
So,
especially when you don't
um,
have connections, like, hey, your friend, what are they like? You can't ask anybody. It's this complete stranger.
right. Yeah. But you can find out a lot of stuff by looking up someone's name, or even just look up their address. You can find out who they are, and how long they've been there, and just stuff like that. I mean, you can find
So
anything.
you had said that you don't want to do online dating anymore. What was it that caused?
No, like, yeah. So like I was with so I hung out with this guy for a while, a long time. And I actually thought I liked him. And the weird thing is the reason why I was attracted to him, and the reason why I thought I liked him, was because he was a dick. He was a fucking dick, total
Oh,
dick.
he was a
Yeah,
jerk and you liked him.
yeah, yeah. And then luckily,
And
like,
I'm glad you said that,
yeah,
because a lot of times we almost are like seeking the validation. Like, what do you mean you're going to be a jerk to me? I'm worth being treated
yeah,
right. So we're
right,
almost coming closer. So they will treat us right because we know that they're not treating us the way they should.
right.
It's a
Yeah, like,
weird
yeah,
psychology thing.
I was giving him a challenge. It was actually fun for me because I was giving him a challenge because I wasn't newly, but I had, been in therapy for a couple, 2, 3 years. So I was giving him a challenge because I knew everything he was saying, everything he was doing, I knew what it was. So
Okay.
he wasn't gonna get me. So it was actually fun for me. But then I realized I was like, oh, I kind of like him. So I was supposed to go back the next day. Luckily, overnight, like the next day, I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Like, he was the fucking total asshole, dude.
Like, what kind of things? Was he just rude,
I
or?
mean, he wasn't a total. Okay, I can't say that. Obviously, I went and hung out with him for a good few hours if he was. So it was like it was just the things that he would say.
Okay.
I guess so. It was just the certain things he would say is what caught me off guard. So I wouldn't say it was like so noticeable because that's how they do it. But it was definitely in a way that made me feel like trying to make me feel like I was less than, you know,
Okay.
like, yeah, it's really hard to explain. I mean, and it was a long time ago. But actually, yeah, it was just funny because I even wrote like a thing. I was telling my friend about the date, and I wrote like this thing that was just really hilarious. But like, it was just like everything was had to be like hush hush, and then it was like even like, I know smoking cigarettes is bad or whatever, but I would be like closet smoker because he would be paranoid for his neighbors to see him smoking even though he was smoking, so we have to go in the back smoke a cigarette. But it
Really?
was just like, yeah, it was just everything had to look perfect, like on the outside, like,
So he
shh,
couldn't
don't
even
even,
smoke
yeah,
cigarettes in his front yard at his own home?
like it was even on the side of his yard, on his fucking deck, on
I,
his deck. but like, like he's trying to hide it and shit. So I was laughing. I was like, closet smoker. I was laughing because in hindsight, when I thought about everything that was said and done or whatever, yeah, it was fun, and there was the moments that whatever, but when I thought about the things, the comments that he would make, I could totally see the narcissist in him. And yes, of course, I mean, he was a bachelor and a huge house, and he had kind of that ego going for him, and
Did he show off the
whatnot.
house? Did it seem like that was a big part of his identity?
Um, yeah, I mean, gosh, I want to say, yeah, he did show me the house. Yeah, but he was saying that he was actually like renting like rooms, trying like he had had a renter there. He said like I get some stuff taken care of, or
Was
whatever.
it male
But it
or
was a really
female?
nice, beautiful, big house. But yeah, there's a lot of empty space. But he said that's because he was planning on renting out like rooms and stuff. So, but
Okay, it gets expensive, being
oh
on.
yeah, for sure. But no, we had a fun time and everything. But girl, another thing that got me was like we were like it was like dark out. And I hadn't been swimming in like a long time, but like it was still just like nerve-wracking because we're like jumping in the water and you can't fucking, I mean, it's like the freaking where the boats are docked and shit, like
Right.
out like that ways, and there was like a big float like in the middle of the where we were at, that part of the lake or whatever. But still, like I mean, yeah. And so I was like, and we'd have some drinks and stuff. And so I was like, um, are you are you gonna save me if I drown? He's like, what? Like, no, not if you don't know how to swim. And I was like, I'm just kidding, So anyways, so we get in there, right? And so, or we jump in the water, or whatever, and we swim to the out to the float, and and then we were sitting on the float or whatever, and we did actually like start making out, like kissing and stuff, whatever. And it was like I said, it was weird for me because it was new, to me.
Right.
But then, like on our way back, when we're swimming back up to the to the shore, like literally there was a walkout. You know how you go on a walkout where you can like fish and stuff? Like the little bridge that they set out for you, like the wooden little
The
walkout
pier,
bridge. Um, I want how like, have
a
you ever been to
boat
Clear?
dock, a boat
Yeah,
dock,
like well, like a yeah, like a where you can
wooden
just walk
sidewalk.
out. Yeah, like a wooden sidewalk.
Right.
Yeah, like a pathway where you can walk out on the water, but you're on the wood. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's something simple. I just can't think of what to call it.
it's called a
But it's
dock.
not okay, a dock, maybe. Yeah. See, that's not my area. But I think of a dock as something like
Big.
bigger. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I used to too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, but so yeah, like there was like a current or something that had come and like really like swept us, right? And so I literally like I grab onto him, but very gently. He literally like pushed me off of him, girl. He's like, you're gonna make me go under. I was like, oh my God. And I was fine. But I couldn't believe that. I was like, oh my God, dude, like you would totally let me die out here if something happened, you know? But I just kind of laughed it off, whatever, because, but he had that like irritate. It was like an irritation,
He might have been
you
scared too,
know?
though,
Yeah,
because a lot of
yeah.
times, like I took life saving, and a lot of times the victims will pull the other person down
Yeah,
because
no, they will. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But
so
it was like lightly because I already know that. Like I know that from experience from when I was little. I know that from experience. So it was just lightly like I went to grab for his arm, like that. And he was like, don't do that or something. Yeah. I was just like, oh my God.
so what do you
You
think
know,
would happen if you were on land? Do you think he would have still pushed you away?
I don't know. And like I said, that was I don't I think that he was also being careful on catching himself too, But
True.
like it's hard to explain, but I've been with one and I know the subtle signs and the weird things that nobody else will understand unless you're in that position.
Yeah, sometimes the signs are
Unless you've
really
experienced it.
subtle
It's
and
very people don't understand like the way it cuts at you, the way it digs into your core. If they're not, it's hard because it's hard for anybody else to believe it or even understand it because if you haven't been there, you just don't know. But it's just little insidious things over time. But I noticed it right away this time because it's not like I didn't notice it like before my marriage, you know. I
so
did,
what were
but I
some of the
didn't know
signs you noticed before your marriage?
it. Just, the controlling, like the to need the power and control, just um, like everything had to be in his time, like just everything. like, and I wasn't allowed to say anything about it, but like I
How
would
was
be,
he when you told him that? Because you have 3 kids with him. How was he when you told him you were pregnant? How did he react to that?
well, Caleb, the first one, um, he was like, well, he was like, well, he did discuss like, hey, he did think, well, how did you? Well, first thing is that was, well, why are you telling your mom and your sister and everybody? Why'd you do that for? He's like, because you give us a chance to think about it, like get an abortion or whatever, you know. Um, so, but that's how that went at the first. But of course, he came around. Like it wasn't long before,
Right.
yeah. So, but it wasn't like he. I was like, no. I was like, no way. And like, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it. There was like no way. I
Right.
wasn't going to. But that was his first reaction. Was
That's
I
interesting.
can't.
Were
Yeah.
you already married? I can't remember.
We'd only been together for like 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, when that happened with Caleb. But I know it's when you're talking about probably. You're probably talking about Reese.
Yes.
Because I was on the phone with you. I'll never forget that. I was on the phone and you were like, I was. You're
What
like,
did
but
it?
he can. You're like, but he can hear you. I'm like, I don't care. I know. I don't care because I was trying to tell you, yeah, because I was trying to tell you, what happened and everything. But I was trying to tell you because he messaged you. He messaged because it was the last contact, because you were the one that I messaged. You remember that?
Yes, I
Yeah,
forgot about
because
that.
you were the one I was talking to about it, and you were the one I messaged, and he saw it, and he got on my phone. But
I
and I said,
forgot about
yeah.
that.
And so he messaged you back and said, I wonder if it's Aaron's. Yeah. And so you were kind of questioning me, but I was like, and I was just like, I was trying to say, like, because you thought I actually sent it. And I was like, I didn't send that, dude. I didn't send that. Oh, he said, what if it's not Aaron's? Yeah. Yeah.
I
And he
forgot
was the one
about
that sent that to
He
you.
did.
Yeah, and so I was on the phone with you, like when I went there because I was on a defense mode, because I knew he knew it. That was the first time I found out he knew. It's because he messaged you, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm like, he knows because he read the messages that I was pregnant. Yeah, and so that's why he made that comment. Because the thing is that even though we had been together for so many years, everything was about him, about what he wanted and what didn't want, and how what he said was going to happen and whatnot. And so according to him, even though like he would act like we were together, we were always broken up. We were always broken up, like fucking for the majority of our marriage. Like he'd
Right.
break up with me from one day to the next.
Yeah, I
I
remember
never
you were
knew.
talking about
Yeah,
that.
I never knew fucking if we were together or we weren't. you know? So, everything was bad on me. So, oh, I get pregnant. Oh my God, you got pregnant like by yourself. Mommy said I'm by myself, right? Like joke, joke, you know.
Right. Did he
Um,
know, did he suspect it was somebody else's or did he believe it was his?
I think he was just being a smart aleck. I think he was just being a smart aleck because I think he knows that I wasn't sleeping with anybody else. I really, yeah. So I think he was just being a smart aleck. But it's not like he wouldn't, try to say that, try to use that. But because they always accuse you, because I found out later, I mean, they always he's a police officer, or he's a deputy that used to work in the jail, and I had a lot of issues with seeing conversations between him and women, other deputies or guards or whatever, you know, even people in jail. I'm just saying, this girls, I'm not kidding. But uh I found out that yeah, like they do a lot of that in the jail when they're working in the jail. Like they will sleep with everybody sleeps with everybody, even if they're married or not. So, and
Within
I never,
the police officers and correction officers or with the inmates?
yeah, it's like the hospital. Have you ever seen like the shows in the hospitals, how they're
Man, I've
everybody's
been to the hospital. Nothing happened. Just kidding.
but it's like one of those like real
Okay.
gold,
The
like yeah, like
dramas.
hide behind the can't yeah, that's and I always was like, no, 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 not Aaron, not Aaron, even though there's plenty of times I had clues. There was clues and there was messages
What
that you
kind
would
of
always
clues?
brush off. Talking to other females that worked, that I knew of, that worked there, that I would look on his messages and I would see, that
Right.
he'd been talking to him. One time I even, yeah, quite a few times And this one girl, I even like, I was so upset. This was like after like years, and he'd always lie to me. And this one girl, she wasn't, what do they call it? Because now I'm drawing a blank on the word, but not when they're not a deputy, but they work in the jail. They're a what is it? Um,
Corrections officer.
yes, the correction. She was a corrections officer, right? And there was like freaking like, I think I swear there was like 100 messages in like a month between the back and forth between them. Um, and then like some of them, yeah. And like literally he tried to just blow that off as like, oh, well, this is what, and I swear he said it's freaking, I swear it seems like from day one. Oh, well, I only talk to them because they're women. I don't, so I'm like, well, why don't you talk to the guys? Because guys won't care. Guy friends won't care. I'm talking to them because they're women and they'll understand and they'll actually, give me, advice or whatnot, whatnot, whatnot. That was his excuse.
What advice did he need help with?
Right, exactly. Because see, the thing is, exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing when you're in a relationship like that. It's a fucking whirlwind. It's a freaking. It's like it's a mind game. So you're always trying to win their approval, trying to win their devotion to you continuously because they're always putting you down and making you work harder for the relationship, and they're out doing their own fucking thing.
Right.
So yeah, so that's why yeah, so yes, he can use he would use certain things, against me and say, "Oh, well, you do this, you do that," even if I wasn't doing anything or if I was working or whatever, you know, as far as yeah, he would be like, but then because come to find out, it was actually him that was doing it. I wasn't because I'm just not that type. I mean, whoever is, that's their prerogative. Like as far as like, women go, you want to,
Try to move
see
your
it.
camera a little bit. We can't see your
So,
face.
yeah. So yeah, so whatever, people want girls want to have their fun or whatever, but I don't have it in me to be like that. I just don't. Like I don't have it in me like to just I can't dude, it took me freaking yeah. I set on an errand because like it's hard for me to find somebody that I feel like I can be intimately connected with,
Right.
like with. Like I'm just not like that. So like I know he knows that. So he would use that against me. So yeah, he would like, say, "Oh, well, but obviously, I mean, it was his. She was his. I mean, she came out looking exactly like him. But anyways, but yeah, I had never cheated. I'd never slept with anybody uh, our entire time in the marriage ever, not once. But I cannot say the same for him, even though I always in my heart never believed it. But when I hear about all the stuff, that goes on at the jails, and then all the clues that I had, and all this and that, like I'm sure he was one of them. Definitely, definitely,
So he
definitely one of
never
them.
admitted to it though, right?
Right. He never admitted to it, even when it would be like pretty much right there. The girl, okay, the corrections officer was literally supposed to meet me at McDonald's, girl. And Reese was like two. That's where we were going to McDonald's. It's like when we can go to McDonald's, because I thought she was acting like she was gonna be on my side. Because
Right.
I was so offended when I saw all those messages between him and her, and then him talking shit about me. Right. And I mean, it was just years ago, so I can't remember exactly at this moment what, like exactly what he was saying. But like when I talked to her, she's like, I know that she stood me up. First of all, she stood me up. She never showed up. I did go there. And I was so fucking nervous. My heart was pounding, even though I shouldn't have been because I was the wife. She is the other girl. I shouldn't have
Right.
been. But I was nervous. And then she didn't fucking show up anyways. But then it's because she chickened out. Chickened out. And then when finally I did talk to her again, um, because I was being so careful not to make it look like I was trying to make him look bad or talk shit about him. So I was just kind of like, I was being really nice about it, super nice about it because I just wanted to fucking talk to her and I wanted to find out information. So I was, being all cool. And then when she stood me up, I'm like, you know what? Hey, I've been really cool about this. I've talked to you quite a few times. I've been super cool about this, but this is bullshit. Okay. First of all, that's my husband, and you're supposed to meet, I don't know. And you're talking to him. Oh, because I even told her, so she was like, the first time, she was like, if you don't want me to talk to him anymore, I won't, because she was saying, oh, we're just friends, this and that, and that, and this. And that's what Aaron would tell me too. We're just friends. And then I didn't want to be like the evil person that was saying, oh, well, you can't have a female friend, a coworker.
Right.
But
What did you
really,
say to her when she
it
said she
was
won't
wrong.
talk to him?
Huh?
What did you say to her
Oh,
when she said, if you want, I won't talk to him?
yeah. I said, no, that's fine. You can talk to him. And that was
We got to
yeah,
be careful though. Sometimes our boundaries
right,
are, we
right.
have to look
But I
what
did
we
that
really
just
want.
because, yeah. But then after after she stood me up, that's when I was like, you know what, man, I was like, I'm fucking done being nice. What I was thinking, fucking done being nice. I was like, I've been nice this whole time. As a matter of fact, I don't want you talking to him. He's my husband. Da, da, da. And she's like, I won't talk to him anymore. But like, I know that I don't know. I think she did actually cut him off, actually, because he even made a comment to me. Oh, because I asked him a question about her or whatever or something. He's like, no, she won't talk to me now, thanks to you. Yeah, and we were see, and this is when we're supposed to be married and together.
Right.
It's just that, like I said, for the majority of the relationship, it was crazy making. It was okay. No, I don't want to be with you. So we're broke up tonight. But the next day is like everything's fine. But I took it to heart though. Like I
Right.
really thought he meant it. Because that was when I was still naive and I didn't know that they just say that shit. They just say that to get under your
And I
skin.
mean, they say it, but eventually it happens and you don't know
Right,
when it's going to happen. You got three beautiful kids and, you live in the
right,
same home and it's like,
right.
am I going to be able to raise my kids or what's the security of my household?
Right.
So yeah, I,
Yeah. It's scary. It's scary. And when I think back, because see, now I completely felt different. I do. That's why when you heal and when you go through that shit, it really changes your perspective and how you actually feel about the situation. Because I don't feel that way no more. I'm good. I'm my own. For real, I'm not kidding. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm not kidding. I don't say that just to say that. It is. And I don't have the desire. I haven't had a desire to be with a man, to be with anybody, period. I haven't had a desire and like freaking since the since the last guy that I met from the dating app. Like I'm like, that's it, I'm done. And then like all my desire went away, girl. I was like, I'm good. I'm good, for real.
So what would you
Um,
do if you met somebody that kind of sparked your interest? Would you go out with them?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because I that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I'm not kidding. And then the thing is that because I am kind of, I'd say closed off. I don't know. I've been that way since I was very young. Yeah, I've been that, like I could like somebody, but I would never be able to show them, you know, I, or, but, and even though I wouldn't be able to show them, I'm still the one that will go after them to let them know that I like them though, to begin with, so it's weird. I don't know. I'm weird. Like, so, um, okay, wait, where were we at? Because what was I? Wait, which part were we at again?
Oh gosh. I'm trying to remember. I was just listening
No.
to you.
Yeah, so yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, because I'm the one because I always do that because like when it pops in my head, I have to say it. Um
So you said you're happy. Oh, I know what I said. I asked you if you met somebody that sparked your interest, would you go out with them?
oh because yeah, that's where I changed it at, well, whatever. Like I said, I don't know because I've yet to experience I don't know, I've yet to experience that, but I don't even know if it's that just that. I think it's just that I'm at a place where deep down inside, like I have enjoyed for like the past 3 years straight. Because wait, when did we get divorced? 2000. We actually, yeah, so 20 because we're during the pandemic. So 20, so like 2021, 20 and 21 was where I tried the dating apps or whatever. So from 21 to now, so look what, like 3 years pretty much. It's been a while. I
Right.
have I like I guess I don't look at people in that way. Like,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not looking for those feelings aren't there. They're not there. I don't know. They're not there anymore. But that's in a way that's good though. It's good until I'm ready, I guess. So
Yeah.
I'm ready because otherwise I'm just gonna keep attracting the same type of people because that's what we do.
So what are some of the things that you changed? Because it does sound like you've attracted several narcissists or
Yeah,
you've
I'm like,
outdated
man,
your
like
camp.
yeah, just well, for first of all, I mean, I can see right through people now. I
You
can
can
see
see
it in
what?
the beginning. I can see it right through people now. I can see it in the beginning. To where before it's not that I didn't get the instincts and my intuition didn't tell me, but I would always brush them off, you know, and even before that, because I didn't know how to listen to my intuition, I didn't know. And then, but even if I did see them, I'm like, oh, that's just me, just me being, hyper cautious and, whatnot. But now I know that just, I don't know, it's hard. Once you learn it, it's hard to unsee it. And so I see it right away. And so this turns me off right away. I see it in so many people, and that's the sad part. Sad part. It really is. I don't want to make it sound like everybody's like that, but I mean, it seems like a lot of people are,
A lot of people are. There are some good people out there, but I'm kind of like you, where it's
I
like,
think they're few and far between.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
good ones are, a lot of them are taken, but then it's kind of like that rotation where some get divorced and they were not necessarily the bad people in the relationship, so there's still hope and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of, a lot of people have baggage the older that you get, and they
Yeah.
heal from it. And do they have trust issues? So it gets a little trickier when you're
Yeah.
older.
And you gotta learn somebody else. And you gotta learn how their behaviors and stuff. And you gotta, yeah, yeah. It seems like a lot of work. And I think that a lot of us spend the majority of our lives searching for something like that when we are completely, dismissing our own selves. And so that's where I think that's where a lot of my desire went away, was just because I was just starting to finally learn who I was.
Well, let me ask you this though. If you and your ex went to counseling, do you think it would have ever worked out?
Well, we did actually go to counseling. We did a couple times, but yeah, it was never really. Well, the first time, I guess it doesn't really count because we only went like I think the first time that was but oh my gosh. But then and then like the second time okay, we didn't have counseling. However, I had started counseling with my therapist, Amanda, and because it was right when I found out about verbal abuse and narcissism. Like that was when, because that's the first thing I found out was verbal abuse. And that's what our relationship had been, tied around. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that was because I thought it was me, because they always told me it was all me. It was, how they do that, the relationship, it's you. And
Now,
so
was
I
that
was just
him or family members who was saying it was your fault or your own
him.
inner
Oh,
dialogue?
him.
Him.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was always, yeah, it was, he's made plenty of comments that insinuated that everything was, it was because of me, because he couldn't handle me, and, this, that, whatever. Um, so, but,
And sometimes it's just a bad match. Not that
yeah,
there's anything wrong with you, or it's just, maybe your energy was more than he was used to, or you had different hopes and dreams. But when he
yeah.
was saying it was you, did he say that you were like too needy or emotional or
Well, yeah, he would say all that kind of stuff. Yeah, definitely. Anytime I try to, speak about any, yeah, because everything, every time I try to talk to him, he would always act like he was going to say something. And then he was like, well, see, I was going to say something and then just forget it now. And I'm like, even though I'm like, well, say it. But like, he would always just say that I wasn't letting him talk, even though it's just because he wasn't talking. And then so I would say something. Then as soon as I'm saying something, he acts like he was going to say something. And so we never were to get able to get anywhere. And so whenever I would confront him, just about, because I'm thinking in my heart and soul, if I just tell him what is, bothering me, or, what I need or whatever, then maybe, it'll change. Maybe he'll care enough, to want
right?
to, meet me in the middle.
Yeah,
But like that never went anywhere because, oh, you're just trying to start an argument. That was like his favorite line. He'd
right,
always shut me down. So I would never get to say anything, but then I would just continue to go after and after, because I was so frustrated, just wanting him to understand, and to make everything okay again,
right.
because for him, he could just shut it off and, diss me. And then, but, me being the sensitive, whatever one over here, like I'm like, still trying to fix it. So it would just be a circle around, around,
So in
around, around.
hindsight, how would you have handled it different?
I would have stopped trying so hard. Absolutely. I would never even went back the first time. Like, never kept going back to try to fix it, to try to reason, to try to
Yeah,
under
and
try to,
sometimes when we
make you
back off,
understand. Yeah.
we can see if it's meant to be,
Right.
maybe give him a little bit more time to talk if he's really going to talk. And it gets confusing. It's like, if he is a narcissist, they use that silent treatment. Now, there's times too
Right.
where somebody might be processing, like, how do I say this? I don't want to hurt her feelings. And they're quiet for a little bit. When you guys ended your arguments, was it where he would storm off or where you would leave? Maybe go into a different room, or would it be a shouting match? How did the end of the arguments go?
Um, definitely like either he would shut down or I would walk away, and so, I would always go away, but then I would think of something and then I would like then I'd go right back in for more. But like but like honestly, I was never trying I was always just desperate to make it okay again. To make
Mhm.
everything okay again because in my mind, that was the end all be all, because he could shut it down so easily and I couldn't shut it down that easily. I had to make it right before I shut it down.
It starts eating at you, yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
moving forward, it's nice if you can have like an agreement, like, look, if we get in an argument, we could take some space, but let's come back in an hour or two. But there's
Right.
a lot of people, they don't have things put in place. And so it's like you start wondering, am I ever going to talk to this person again? Or you're all caught up in your emotions, like, I just need to say this, and
Yeah.
it's frustrating,
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy.
Definitely. Yeah. But definitely after that, like just being, just just having been in a relationship since I was 20 all the way until 40. Um, yeah, 20 to 40. I would definitely like I never actually had the chance to learn myself anyways. So now I'm at the point where I'm good. Like I don't have that desire because you know what? Like I don't need all that. Like I'm so happy just doing my thing here, taking care of myself, learning myself and just enjoying whatever whatever I want to without anybody saying anything. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There's times it's like okay to be alone.
Yeah.
You got your friends, you got your kids, your
Yep.
family, things like
Yep.
that.
Because
So,
you're not ever really alone. Because I'm not alone. I'm never really alone. I mean, even if I have my online groups and stuff too, my online peoples,
and your
you
bunny
know,
rabbits.
and I have my bunny rabbits and my dog and my kids. And so I'm never truly alone. I always have someone I can talk to. I can even go on Facebook. Like I said, you can go on Facebook. I can talk to people. If I want. There's definitely people on there that I've known, since for years and ages and stuff, whatever. So, but I actually enjoy alone time. It's where before I couldn't handle it because I didn't know how to be alone.
Yeah, sometimes we have to learn
So,
that,
yeah,
especially because you had a young marriage at age 20, fairly young, and then it was for a long time.
yeah, yeah.
Did your family support you, or were they giving you a hard time that you need to work it out, you need to stay together? What was
Um, no, um, not really because I never really talked to them about that. Really, I guess I didn't. I mean, if that's no. I mean, my mom had made comments before that, like, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Like when I found out when I thought, he was cheating before because I found some crazy freaking text on his phone. Um, I was like, like, oh my God, like what do I do? She's like, there ain't nothing you can do about it. Like just deal with it. Like fuck that, because I was mad. Because I was like, really? Oh my God, I was like, I would never say it to my daughter. Like seriously, I would tell my daughter she needs to like leave him right away, you know? But yeah, she was the opposite way. But they never really got into anything like that. They never got involved in anything, really. So but I never really shared a lot either. I don't share a lot with anyone, period, anyways.
okay.
So I never really shared
Did you
anything
feel
with
isolated where you would get in trouble if you told anybody from him?
no, no, but I know that when I first got divorced, I know that, and I'm sure I felt that way before. It was like, oh my God, like that was like to be like looked down upon, you know, yeah. It was hard for me at first, but that was before I've done so much like I've been in therapy and all kinds of, inner child work and all kinds of stuff, for years now, quite a few years now, because it literally it takes a lifetime. But so I'm just um God, I keep doing that to myself because I keep talking about something else and then I forget
Well,
what I was
with
saying.
the therapy that you've been through and working on the inner child, what are some of the most best techniques that have helped you deal with healing the inner child?
I guess just learning that a lot for me was that, it's not it's not about you. It's not about you. It's their own people that who are, trying to bring down your light or whatever. It's not about you. It's about them. It's their own insecurity. So, because I took everything, especially with Aaron, with anybody, with my ex, with just through life, I
Right.
just took everything personal, and so it really helped me just, you know, build
Yeah,
confidence,
because if I was
self-esteem.
if I played God and I took you and I kept you with him and he's going to disrespect you, but then I took you, the exact same person, put you with somebody else, they're going to be kinder. I put you with another man, so it is how you're treated isn't you because each man
Right,
would have treated you different. So it comes from them with how they're treating you, not who you are. Now, granted, we
right,
can react to it, but usually if you're treated the right way, you treat the right way back. And when you're not treated the right way, it's really hard to treat the right way back. So
right,
I think that's a good analogy of how we can see, because a lot of us are like, was it me? And, what is wrong with me? Sometimes it's just the dynamics. We trigger each other. And sometimes it is somebody who is just, no matter what you do, you can't win. And the narcissist
right.
will change you over time. Now you're going to start to lie, or you're going to start to be short tempered or hiding things. Did you feel an anxiety or easiness near the end when you were with him, just having him walk in the room, or you didn't feel anything different other than just a regular marriage?
Um, I mean, there was certain times that, like I got spooked by him, a little bit, just because the way he would say something, and but for the most part, I don't know. I don't really know. Besides, I mean, I guess we had been distant for a while, even towards the end, as far as him expressing, like, being able to actually feel his vibe, like his emotion, how his emotions play off and stuff. I couldn't really, I think we had a distance there. So I
You
think that
guys
I
get
just,
along better now dealing with the kids, so you
yeah,
guys are
absolutely. Oh yeah, we get along great now. Yeah, absolutely. I do actually do want to credit myself to that, because after we went to the divorce and everything went down and everything was heated, and the way it went down was not cool. It was not cool at all. Um, but I made the decision. I had a lot of support at the time. I made the decision that I wasn't gonna, I was still gonna be happy no matter what. Because see, I was still gonna be nice to him no matter what. Because I didn't have it took more energy for me to freaking continue acting like I was mad and being angry over something.
yeah,
Yeah, and it took down my happiness. So he didn't really have a there was no way he could continue trying to, be standoffish or be cold or whatever, because I was too myself again, vibrant, happy, because I'm like that with everybody, just because that's just who I am. Because
right,
I like to be when I get around people, I don't know, for some reason it just makes me excited. I just get happy, I don't know, certain people, not everyone, but
right.
just around people in general, that either I've known for a long time, or, people that I vibe with well, or comical and stuff like that. I love
I
I
love
love
we should go to a comedy show. I love those.
right, yeah. Yeah.
So,
So
so before we go, your words of advice, yes or no, should people do online dating?
I say I would say no, but if you're gonna do it, I would say just be very cautious, because a lot of them are, and I found out just through word of mouth and whatever, and just through experience, that a lot of them are on there because they already have issues as it is with in relationships, for some reason or another, and some of them are just on there just playing. They're just playing. They just want to play. They just want
Right.
to meet up, and they want to have sex, and then, like, that's it, and some of them, just yeah. Yeah, I would say be very cautious, and I would say definitely do your research. Look up their address, look up their name just in case,
Right.
whatever.
Meet in a
But
public place, don't
yeah.
go
Yes.
swimming and
Yeah, because the
in the
second, yeah,
dark.
I know, right? The second person I did meet, it was actually technically the third person. The third person I did meet at Culver's, and it was a complete, like, yeah, like he irritated me the whole time, because he reminded me, because he was like trying to tell me about myself and stuff. Girl, he was cocky, and he was like an Air Force pilot. So when you get to the military guys, be aware. I'm sorry, military guys,
There's
but
some wonderful ones out there, but yeah,
yes, there are
some
some
of
good
them are
ones.
more rigid or
Yes, some of them are. Yes, I don't want to speak for all, but anybody in that kind of position, they usually, they usually kind of try to be hard up, and so they can get under your skin pretty easily if you let them. So yeah, be aware of that power and control with a lot of
and
those
some of
guys
it is, I mean,
or
we
even
definitely have
women.
to thank them for their service, but
Yeah,
sometimes, they sometimes can't separate when they have to be the tough person and then
right,
going back to civilian life in
right.
their marriage or dating life. It's like kind of difficult.
Yep, it's the same. Yep, it's the same like with any kind of authority, law enforcement, whatnot. Yeah, because they can't shut off, who they are out there and when they come home.
Well,
So,
thank you for your insight and your advice. And Amanda, thank you so much for doing another podcast. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.
all right,
All
all
right,
right,
thanks so
girl.
much.
All right, have a good one.
Too. Thanks. Bye-bye.